Welcome to the Truth Report, where if we see something, we say something. I'm your host, David Chase Taylor of truther.org, and I'm reporting to you live from Zurich, Switzerland, where I have applied for asylum since the release of my book, The Nuclear Bible. You can go to nuclearbible.com today and download a copy for free. Actually, I just received this week my first asylum appointment for March 14th of 2012. So I've been trying for 10 months to get that, so wish me luck. Okay, so as you know, this is a weekly show dedicated to stopping false flag terrorism. We know that the Obama administration desperately needs a false flag terror attack in order to get another 4 years of office. So every week we'll be right here, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, reporting the news, the drills, the war games, the patsies, the plots, anything and everything to do with false flag related terrorism. Okay, so we just before I quickly get into the topics for today, there was a massive train crash in Argentina this week. I believe it was yesterday, and with 49 dead. And I just want people to check out the Duqu virus, D-U-Q-U virus. It's under cyber terror at truther.org, but you can just Google it. It's on Wikipedia. But basically, this is an Israeli-made cyber terror worm that overtakes systems, command and control systems of like nuclear power plants, railroads, airlines, this sort of nature. I'm not saying at all that this was related to this virus, but it's very interesting that this train just continued right up into the station. The engineers obviously couldn't stop it, killing 49, just squashed them in a car. It's terrible. Argentina, check it out. Google it. Okay, so this Sunday, February 26th, is the 19th anniversary of the World Trade Center 1993 bombing. And the event that we have going on today is, or on Sunday, excuse me, is the Daytona 500. So before I get into Alex Jones, I just quickly want to go over this NASCAR situation that we have. So there's a major NASCAR security team, and they met last year. And John Powers of the FBI, O.T. Gagnon of the DHS, Steve Lampo of the FBI, and then there's another guy from the Secret Service. And they basically are all meeting and basically discussing terrorism events, and what they're looking for is an active shooter. So if you can imagine, if at the Daytona 500 in Florida an active shooter start in the crowd, there's going to be a massive panic, and there's going to kill way more people than would actually die from the bullet. So it's something to definitely look at. All this information is under the NASCAR Terror tab, but also there's a partnership, again, as we saw with the Super Bowl. There's a partnership between the DHS and NASCAR, and they've been training, beta testing different terror scenarios, technologies at the tracks. So they basically have been beta testing this thing where people get this cell phone message on their cell about the terror event going on, which would obviously just lead to create more panic and more people being trampled. There's also been a number of threats to the Indianapolis 500, and so like I always say every week, we're not here saying anything's going to happen. We're just saying, hey, look, this is what they've been training for. This is what could possibly happen if something goes down. And the anniversary of the World Trade Center bombing of 1993, which was an FBI operation, which they actually gave the bomb to the guy. So just take a look at that. Okay, so last week I wrote an article about Alex Jones. Has actually started off with my research regarding his possible link to Stratfor, an Israeli Zionist intelligence agency located in Austin, Texas. And the more I started digging on this guy, the more dirt I found. And I've written this article, and it'll be posted at truther.org. But it's called 10 Reasons Why Alex Jones Should Be Tried for Treason. And, you know, the feedback I'm getting on Facebook and stuff is, you know, Alex Jones is good, he's telling a lot of truth, even though he's bad, maybe, you know, what's the harm, and so on. And the goal of Alex Jones and the Zionists that are controlling him is to get America to destroy itself by getting Americans to attack their own military and police. This is so important, and it's detailed in the article in further depth, but basically, this is exactly the way that Russia fell under Stalin. And it's interesting because Alex Jones is basically the devil's messiah. I mean, he's this guy, like this Paul Revere type of character. But if you look at the documents and the evidence surrounding Alex Jones, as I'm about to go into, just to skim the surface, you can check it out for yourself. He's probably the most dangerous man in America. I mean, this guy has literally a 3 million man gun-owning militia, and that he speaks to every day, 6 days a week. He's basically telling Americans how bad their country is. So you have to destroy something before you can bring something new in. And if you look at Egypt and Libya, as these revolutions have gone, they've gotten Al-Qaeda and Muslim Brotherhood governments in post. So if America destroys its way of life, its political system, everything like that, we're going to get a fascist dictatorship to replace it. Trust me on that. So Alex Jones and all the minions out there, like Mark Dice and all the other people, they basically have to paint this picture to Americans that it's time to change what's going on. So like I stated earlier, it's in further depth and detail. I detail everything in this article, 10 reasons why Alex Jones should be tried for treason. You can Google it and find it. But basically, I'm just going to cover the 10 points really quick. Like I mentioned earlier, number one, Stratfor intelligence agent. Basically, the Zionist private CIA founded in Austin, Texas, 1996, same year Alex Jones came on the air. And there's so much evidence. They're basically collecting data and information. So what Alex Jones is there to do is to absorb information and to basically stop genuine political movements in America. You can decide for yourself, but there's so many anomalies and coincidences between the two. Both knew about 9/11 before, and that's how, like I'll get into later, Alex Jones is making his terror predictions. So check that out. Number two, Operation Endgame. This is an operation to basically arrest and dispose of all political, or excuse me, all suspected terrorists on the United States landmass by 2012. So Alex Jones makes a movie about it, 2-hour plus movie, forgets to mention it. This is what the FEMA cams, this is the actual operation, and Alex Jones is conveniently leaving it out. Stochastic terrorism. Stochastic terrorism is basically the means of radio, television, movies, video, and the internet to cause people to basically commit acts of terrorism or violence. And if you exaggerate and you basically paint a picture day after day how bad something is, some people that aren't so psychologically fit are going to snap, and this is going to further the demonization of Americans and pass laws, draconian legislation to prevent lone wolf terrorists from acting. He's doing it every day. This is, I think, the biggest piece of evidence because, you know, criminals tend to repeat their behavior. And if you look at what Alex Jones did on Y2K, that was December 31st, 1999, basically tried to get the American people to riot. Sorry, that's my cat again. And he basically stated, and I documented, I went through and I actually wrote every single word that he said. There's the video, you can, but if you look at the script, he's basically saying that the Russians have taken their codes off their nuclear weapons and that they're moving and that they're in a position to strike and that the United States is having to erect its missile defense shield in the North Pole. I mean, this guy is completely getting his audience to go crazy. And basically stating that it's basically the end of the world. And I believe that this was a beta test for what Alex Jones was supposed to do at the on February 6, 2012, when the Super Bowl nuke was supposed to go off. If you don't believe that, check it out at nuclearbible.com. You can check out all the information out there. Anyway, there's so much more information. I can't get into it all, but just check it out yourself. Okay, number 5, the assassination of William Bill Cooper. Bill Cooper warned us before 9/11 and on 9/11 that Alex Jones was sent to basically provocateur violence in the midst of a national tragedy, and that his behavior on Y2K was damning to journalism as a whole, a radio host, and basically to the safety of Americans, because this guy is getting people to riot or attempting to get them to riot. So, like I stated in the article, there's no evidence has surfaced that Jones is basically connected to this murder, but who benefited the most? I mean, Alex Jones was really a nobody compared to Bill Cooper at that time, and basically he eliminates him as competition and as a critique. I mean, because Alex Jones was being basically exposed by Cooper on a regular basis, so he was liquidated on November 5th of 2001, shortly after 9/11. Alex Jones says he called 9/11. Yeah, with Israeli intelligence. Bill Cooper, he called it on the day of 9/11. He basically, you have to listen to that broadcast. It's the most chilling broadcast. I actually listen to it every once in a while because it takes me back to that moment of 9/11. Number 6, this is a huge one too. Alex Jones goes COINTELPRO at the Austin gun rally. These liberty activists, they gather on the steps of the Austin Police Department. They invited Alex Jones to come speak. He declined. Then he shows up with a bullhorn and a posse and basically shouts over the crowd. And then when people come up to him and ask him what's going on, he basically lies. And he says to this lady that, you know, you've had a hard-on for me for 20 years. I mean, this is a Christian guy. I mean, Alex Jones is a Christian. He's a good guy. No. Alex Jones is an evil motherfucker. Excuse my French. But he's a bad guy. Okay, check that out. And his terror prediction. So he predicted 9/11 a few days before. I think 48 days before, he predicted that Osama bin Laden might attack the World Trade Center. That happened. So did Stratfor, the intelligence agency he works for. The Norway terror attacks the day before. So what was happening was there was a major pro-Palestine rally in Norway, and basically Mossad went in there and took care of business. And Alex Jones got the memo probably from Stratfor the day before, and basically said that the emergence of white Al-Qaeda was about to happen. The future assassination of Obama, we know that the Israeli Mossad has been planning this. Whether they kill him or not, there's going to be some sort of an attempt to demonize domestic groups. And Alex Jones is saying he's 100% sure. He doesn't give any proof, like I do. Go to my website, ObamaCSI.com. We have the whole plan of the future assassination of Obama, exposing this. He doesn't give one piece of evidence. I have like hundreds, but he doesn't give any. And the upcoming bio attack, he doesn't give any evidence as to why there's an upcoming bio attack coming. He just says that there is. I mean, he made this video. I mean, check out the video. Google it. I mean, this guy doesn't give any evidence at all. Number 8, denial of Zionism. You know, Alex Jones wants you chasing the New World Order, the Illuminati, Skull and Bones, elites, Luciferians, eugenicists, Satanists, Bilderbergers, the Royal Family, Council on Foreign Relations, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Club of Rome, World Bank, United Nations, globalists, bankers, the Fed, Trilateral Commission, Bohemian Grove. But the Zionists kind of leaves those guys out because they actually run stuff. So check out this information. Millionaire Truther, I mean, this guy is just selling. You know, if you want to know if somebody's for real or not, check out what they're in business for. Are they in business for truth, like getting the word out, or are they in business selling? And Alex Jones is just a money-making machine. And his money bombs, and he's on his 3rd studio, and on February 17th, he stated that he might have to build a 4th studio. Yeah, you heard that right. 4 studios in like 4 years. He's just like Jim and Tammy Faye Baker, just milking money from their sheeple audience. So don't give him any of your money, and check out this information. Okay, number 10, Super Bowl nuclear terror plot, Super Bowl XLV, Dallas, Texas, February 6, 2011. 6 months out, he's talking about oiling his guns. Then he's beta testing the InfoWars audience, seeing how many of them will obey his commands by Googling search terms and hanging Obama posters. And basically what was going to happen is, in the aftermath of the nuclear terror attack, basically Alex Jones was going to say it was the U.S. federal government that did the attack, but actually Pakistan has been set up for the last 25 years as a scapegoat of nuclear terror. Basically, check out the article, make up your own mind on Alex Jones, but don't believe anybody, trust your instincts. Okay, so all this information is going to be at truther.org, basically, as I mentioned earlier, I applied for asylum. Check out the website, davidchasetaylor.com. Other websites, truther.org, nuclearbible.com, and Obama CSI, exposing the future assassination of Barack Obama. Okay, so till next week, David Chase Taylor signing out. Peace.